Good morning. Welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church West on this first Sunday of March here in Wisconsin. I first offer gratitude for the privilege of living and gathering on traditional territory inhabited at various times by Native people. We are committed to learning and remembering this history and engaging in the work of reconciliation and reparation. As a welcoming congregation to gay, lesbian, transgendered, bisexual, and queer plus people, we continue to address ongoing homophobia, violence, and unfair legislation targeting our community members, friends, and family. As an anti-racist faith community, we also acknowledge that racism throughout our society continues to lead to the violent deaths and oppression of Jews, Black, and Indigenous people, and other people of color. May we engage in the struggle to dismantle white supremacy culture in our hearts, in our community, and in our world. I'm Jeannie Baker, a member of your Board of Trustees. I'm happy to be here today and happy to see your friendly faces. This congregation expands beyond the walls of this room. Many people are joining us virtually, wherever you are right now, whatever your age or color, whatever your gender identity, whatever your chosen beliefs, whoever you love, you are welcome here. Some housekeeping. I'd like to welcome all newcomers. You'll find yellow slips that you can fill out to get more information or use visitor@uucw.org. We'll be pleased to give you more information. There's also a newcomer table in the community room, or really just ask anybody with a name tag. We'd love to talk to you about our beloved church. The worship exploration table is over there, and it's hopping right now for anyone who wishes to keep busy during service. I'd like to again welcome our virtual participants. Hello out there. If you'd like to participate in Joys and Concerns, please text Reverend Hewlin. I'd like to highlight some of the announcements. There are a lot. I mean, there is a lot going on right now. You all know I'm on the stewardship committee, so I'm here to really bring home the mention of the pledge drive. Mailings will go out. It's the third announcement on your sheet. The theme is Mission Possible, and we call on you in joy, love, and generosity to make your pledge and help us go boldly forth where we have never gone before. Friends and fellow church members, I'm watching you. We need you. We all need each other. I also want to mention a separate topic, that the registration for Beloved Conversations, which many of you have done and many of you have expressed interest in, has been extended through March 7th. There was an extension. So if you sign up, and you should, please let Dave Cicero know. There are also lots and lots of other interesting and useful things. We have a guest house meal on Saturday, March 16th. Please sign up if you haven't, because they always need more food of many different kinds. UUCW at Regional Assembly, we're asking if anybody wants to be a delegate. That's in April, and it's in Madison. So it's a kind of a nice opportunity if you've never attended. I want to also point out that we're having a clothing swap next Sunday, gently used t-shirts, sweatshirts, turtlenecks, and tank tops. This is a really good thing. If you've participated in any of these swaps, a lot of stuff goes out of people's closets and goes where it needs to go. It's really a good thing. Now that we have the business of coming together squared away, let's settle in and center ourselves as we enjoy and enter into this time of attending to matters of worth and consequence. We'll begin by singing Everything Possible, a great way to get into the spirit of today's topic, becoming and change. It's hymn number 1019. Reuben will sing the verses, and we'll all join in on the chorus, which is where we'll begin. Please rise in body and spirit if you're willing or able. Reuben, take it away.
to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know that I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose one special one, and the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. We've cleared off the table, leftovers saved, washed the dishes and put them away. I've told you a story, tucked you in tight, at the end of your knockabout day. As the moon sets its sails to carry you to sleep over the midnight sea, I will sing you a song no one sang to me. May it keep you good company. Oh, you can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know that I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose one special one, and the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. There are girls who grow up strong and bold, there are boys quiet and kind. Some race on ahead, some follow behind, some go in their own way and time. Some women love women, some men love men, some raise children, some never do. You can dream all the day, never reaching the end of everything possible for you. Don't be rattled by names, by taunts, by games, but seek out spirits true. If you give your friends the best part of yourself, they'll give the same back to you. Oh, you can be anybody you want to be. You can love whomever you will. You can travel any country where your heart leads, and know that I will love you still. You can live by yourself, you can gather friends around, you can choose one special one, and the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done. And the only measure of your words and your deeds will be the love you leave behind when you're done.
So you all have a role to play in today's opening words. So let's just practice that first. When I so indicate, the north side, it's about that half, will say, be among us, and the south side will say, come in. No, wait a minute, did I get that wrong? The north side will say, come in, and then the south side will say, be among us. So I'll indicate like this. The north side says, come in. Be among us. All right, you got it. These words were written by Sherry Woodbury. Show you right now. There. Whoops. That's who wrote Everything Possible. I guess I forgot to click on him. Sorry, Fred. There. Okay. To all who are yearning for community. To all who are just getting started, to all who long to go deeper, to all with tender places needing care. To the ones who have healed and have care to give, for those who are curious and hungry to learn, for those who know that they have something to teach, for the ones who are just beginning to suspect that they might nurture some others becoming, to the young and the old, the innocent and the jaded, the fresh of mind and the deeply steeped, there is room here for each and every one. Be among us. Come, let us worship together. And now let's light our chalice.
When Unitarian Universalists gather, we light a chalice, a flame in an open cup. Our chalice represents both the fiery center of this faith and the space for all those who would join us. If you're joining us online, please create a similar light, a candle, a lamp, your cell phone, as your contribution to this communal sacred fire. Our chalice lighting words today were written by Francis Cozier and are called Bringing Us Home to Love. I invite you to read it with me responsively as indicated in your order of service. We light this chalice today as a people dedicated to personal growth.
May it burn away the oppressions we have been taught and glow instead with the humility of learning.
May it reignite our dreams for a better world and kindle our joy for simple living.
May its warmth extend out into the forgotten alleyways of exclusion and bring us home to love, to welcoming, and to all the challenges, the questions, and the blessings of this beautiful path to becoming a beloved community.
With these words, reminding us that we are on an ever-unfolding path to change together, we light our chalice. A couple of weeks ago, we held an after-service conversation about the role of covenant in our faith. These words of affirmation, crafted by Lucas Hegert, are a version of a covenant often spoken within many UU congregations. If you're willing and able, I invite you to join me in reading them aloud. Love is the doctrine of this church. Our faith in each other is its sacrament. Working for justice and living with compassion, its prayer. Reverently we covenant together to side with love, to heal and not to harm, and to share hope with each other and with the world.
Good morning. I'd like to invite anyone wanting a better view of the pictures I chose to go with today's story to come on up to the blanket and cushions we have up on the floor. And while they get settled, I'll tell you that I am Dave Cicero. I'm the Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at UUCW. My pronouns are he and his. So this month's worship theme is the gift of transformation. That's a big word, but I'll bet some of you know what it means, to transform. It basically means to change. And why do you use value change? I think one reason might be that revising our understanding of the world as we learn more about it brings us to just a better understanding. and better belief systems, better ways of living with each other. Now, I'm a big proponent of lifelong learning. I'm a professional educator, and I can still say honestly that there are things that I understand better now than I did 3 months ago or 6 months ago. But I also have to say that in learning more, I come up with even more questions that I wonder about. The more I'm transformed, the more I wonder. Now, some people get really excited when change is underway, but others get pretty scared, especially if they don't know what to expect next. Today's story has one character on each side of that situation. This story is called Homer's Wings, and it was written by Reverend Caitlin Cotter Coilberg. In her words, I don't know that it happened this way, but I do know that it's true, that long ago and far away, or more likely recently and quite nearby, high up in the mountains on a black cherry tree, an egg was laid on a leaf. And in the light of the moon, out of that egg hatched a little brownish caterpillar with white markings that would look to any bird who might chance by, perhaps like bird droppings. Now, this caterpillar's name was Homer. Homer looked around in surprise and wonder to find himself alive in the world. "Better eat your egg casing, little friend," said a black and spiky caterpillar nearby. Well, Homer did just that and then turned to look at his new friend. "Welcome to the world," said the other caterpillar, whose name was Alex. "It's delicious. Here, try some of this leaf." And together the two caterpillars munched on leaves all spring, through rain and sun, through sunrises and sunsets. Now they laughed together at the antics of the baby birds in the tree and hid together under the leaves that the black spiky caterpillar had collected so that the parent birds could not catch them. You guys know what birds do to caterpillars? They make lunch out of them. Yeah. Alex taught Homer that all he needed to know about life on a leaf, how to stay safe, how to munch, how to enjoy the feeling of the wind stirring the tree and the sun slowly warming the mountains each morning. Together, they gazed each night up at the beautiful moon. But one day, the black spiky caterpillar started something totally new and different. "What are you doing?" asked Homer, as Alex carefully put down silk on the underside of a twig in the newest collection of leaves and started hanging it upside down. "Making a chrysalis," said Alex. "A what?" "You'll see." And over the next couple of days, in the shelter of the leaves, the spiky black caterpillar shifted and shed its skin and became a strange, lumpy brown thing hanging there and not making any conversation. What could this mean? For a week, Homer munched quietly by himself, watching the strange brown hanging thing that used to be his friend, wondering and worrying as the strange lumpy brown thing shifted in color and size and pattern. Then one day, out of the strange lumpy brown chrysalis pushed an even stranger new creature. Homer watched as this new creature pumped blood into its black and white and bright orange wings, and unfurled a strange new mouth. "What?" cried Homer. Who? This new creature looked to him. "Oh, little friend," it said, "it's still me, Alex. When you laughed and hid and munched leaves with and watched the moon with, but now I'm a butterfly." In this story, he was an admiral butterfly, to be specific. But you changed, cried Homer. You were as constant as the moon, and now you've changed. Alex smiled gently. Oh, friend, they said, we're supposed to change. Why, even the moon is different night to night. Sometimes we see all of it, sometimes only a little sliver, and sometimes we can't see it at all. But I don't want to change, lamented Homer, scared and sad. Well, change is part of who we are, said the butterfly, who was Alex, and now our friendship must change too. I must fly away in search of flowers and other butterflies, and eventually I will fly south to stay warm in the winter. You must continue to eat and grow and stay safe from the birds, but you'll change too. Just remember, you are loved, and whatever your body does, you are a beautiful friend, and I am glad I know you. And with that, Alex took to the sky. All that summer, Homer, the little brown caterpillar, ate and grew and hid and watched the moon, which did indeed look a little different every night. But Homer became bigger, brown caterpillar. His white splotch turned into two little eyes. He looked like a fearsome little snake, and no birds ate him. Day by day, the seasons moved toward autumn. Finally, Homer found his own safe spot to hang upside down and shifted into a chrysalis. This was very scary, but Homer remembered his friend and was brave. All winter, the chrysalis hung there, safe and still. And in the spring, Homer felt himself stir, felt his new body shift once again, and wiggled free to find himself with a new mouth and different shape and wings. Wings that were yellow and black and blue and orange and glorious. Oh my, said Homer, the Appalachian tiger swallowtail, gazing at himself in wonder and delight. And then he took off into the sky, up toward the bright moon, bold as a bird, to the broad sweep of a spruce knob. So have you ever wondered which kind of caterpillar you were? One who's very confident about being able to cope with changes in your life? Or are you one, kind of like my daughter, who needs a warning, just a little heads up when something's going to change ahead? You know who you are, Isaac? Yeah. Now, one is not better than the other, whether you're kind of scared of change or whether you are confident about it. But even if you're scared of it and need some encouragement, that's okay. Each one of us is worthy and needed in an ever-changing world. Now, this morning, Shay has agreed to light our lantern. Are you ready, Shay? She's going to light our RE lantern from the chalice over there, and I will invite everyone else. And I'm going to invite all the children and youth going to their RE classes to come forward and follow Shay out while we sing our recessional. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always.
In peace, know our love is with you always, as you go, as you go. Lovely. So as you already heard, the theme of our pledge campaign this year is Mission Possible, and which further promotes UUCW's new mission statement to be grounded in love and to be a joyful community committed to spiritual growth, inclusion, and justice. So what will this community look like in 2030 or 2050 or somewhere out beyond that? What's possible? You're invited to imagine that and to write a letter to the future UUCW expressing how you hope our efforts and dreams today will impact those who follow us. And any of you can do that, share your thoughts in this way, either by speaking on a Sunday or writing something to share in the e-nos. And so please let me know if you'd like to do that. And today, Kathy White has a letter to share.
Dear UUCW of 2124, in 2024, we were looking for ways to live into our new mission statement. Our beloved community was excited about our focus on promoting spiritual growth by dismantling white supremacy, becoming more inclusive, working together for social justice advancement, and building a joyful community based on love and compassion. Some of us signed up for the Beloved Conversations course to help us recognize systemic racism and white supremacy. Your church has become a focal point for community engagement, collaborative action in Brookfield and the greater Milwaukee area, and a center for dialogue sessions on current issues. Your electronic sign conveys UU values in brief, meaningful messages. In seeing your ministry staff reflecting the wide diversity in your church, I am so proud. How wonderful to find your youth conducting Sunday evening services with current music and topics which speak to their age and culture. Treats in the coffee room now include favorite snacks from a variety of cultures. Your Social Justice Committee has influenced Milwaukee government to provide reasonable and frequent mass transit to our community as well as all the suburbs. I've also noticed that you have a large group of volunteers who give people rides to and from church. Your religious education department's reputation for quality programming draws children from other churches, mosques, and synagogues. So welcoming are your members that anyone walking in the door feels the joy and love you so freely give. Our mission statement has come alive in the shining beacon of light you display so well. Words such as inclusivity, justice, love, and acceptance are so ingrained in your hearts and minds that they are joyfully expressed in all you do and say. Where once we merely acknowledged our Native American tribes whose land we occupied, you have actually sought out members of those tribes wherever possible and invited them into your UU congregation. What joy to honor those our country would forget with open arms, monetary contributions, and a welcoming pulpit for their wisdom and spirituality. Future UUCW, I look forward to our hopes and dreams becoming reality as you grow spiritually into a joyful community, living fully into our values and principles. As we struggle to understand and incorporate our mission statement into our lives, we know our descendants will carry the message forward.
Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, our theme for March is transformation, and today we're looking at the process of becoming, which is an ongoing process of learning, growth, choices, some hopefully intentional, and influences that change us and transform us. And one of the ways we shift toward change is the practice of wondering what it would be like if we could be different, if we could see things from a new perspective, wondering who we would be if something shifted, and allowing ourselves to open to the possibilities. Our meditation today is a spoken word poem by Naima Penniman, all about wondering. Let's watch and listen.
I wonder If the sun debates dawn some mornings, not wanting to rise out of bed from under that down feather horizon. If the sky grows tired of being everywhere at once, adapting to the mood swings of the weather. If clouds drift off, trying to hold themselves together, make deals with gravity to loiter a little longer. I wonder if rain is scared of falling, if she has trouble letting go, if snowflakes get sick of being perfect all the time, each one trying to be one of a kind. I wonder if stars wish upon themselves before they die, if they need to teach their young how to shine. I wonder if shadows long to just for once feel the sun. If they get lost in the shuffle, not knowing where they're from, I wonder if sunrise and sunset respect each other, even though they've never met. If storms have regrets, if volcanoes get stressed, if compost believes in life after death. I wonder if breath ever thinks of suicide, if the wind just wants to sit still sometimes and watch the world pass him by, if smoke was born knowing how to rise, if rainbows get shy backstage, not sure if their colors match right. I wonder if lightning needs an alarm clock to know when to crack, if rivers ever stop and think of turning back, if streams meet the wrong sea and their whole lives run off track. I wonder if the snow wants to be black, if the soil thinks she's too dark, if butterflies want to cover up their marks, if rocks are self-conscious of their weight, if mountains are insecure of their strength. I wonder if waves get discouraged, crawling up the sand, only to be pulled back again to where they began, if land feels stepped upon, if sand feels insignificant, if trees need to question their lovers to know where they stand, if branches waver at the crossroads, unsure of which way to grow, if leaves understand they're replaceable and they still dance when the wind blows. I wonder where the moon goes when she is in hiding. I want to find her there and watch the ocean spin from a distance, listen to her stir in her sleep, effort give way to existence.
I love that. I think there's a link in the order of service to the text so you can read it again later. Now, we make time most Sundays to share pieces of our lives with one another. We do this as part of the ministry that we do together in order to be present to one another in all of our wonderings and our becomings. In a moment, you'll be invited to come to this mic to share what is exciting or joyful or painful or worrisome in your life. And if you're online and would like me to light a candle for you, you can text me. What you share aloud here today is only for those who are gathered right now in this moment. It won't be included in the posted video of the service. You can choose to share also in writing on that yellow slip that you got or via the QR code or from the e-news, and that'll be shared as you indicate, either in the e-news or with our lay pastoral care team or with me. So if you'd like to share, please come here to the candles, and it's helpful if you stand in front of the table, I think, or close to the table so that those online can see you. I'll light a candle for you, and after each sharing, I'll invite you all to respond with, "We hold you in love." If it's hard for you to come up and you'd rather speak from your seat, raise your hand and Mary will bring you a microphone. So if you'd like to share, come now. We could form a line even on either side and then take turns. March 5th, a couple of days from today, is International Day for Disarmament. And what better time to, again, always lift up the need for a ceasefire, reduction of weapons everywhere. And of course, I can't not mention that this week, March 8th, will be International Women's Day. Hope you find a great way to celebrate that, to learn more, to lift up all the women in your life. Just check my phone. Oh. Yeah. I have a request to light a candle for Tina Jerrigan of Bloomington, Indiana, who's been fighting pancreatic cancer and a bad fall last week, which left her mostly paralyzed. She has transitioned to hospice care. Thank you. And this candle was requested from Mary Victoria in Seattle. We hold you in love. And I'll just light one more candle to acknowledge all you folks online. We're really glad you're with us. We know you're part of this community. We're really glad that we can share our services in this way. This is for you with love. And then finally, just one more candle to acknowledge all of the joys and concerns that remain in the silent sanctuaries of all our hearts. Just as human beings, we go through life carrying so many things. And this is for you with prayers that you'll recognize that you're not alone, that there are all kinds of support and beauty around you all the time. We hold you in love. So as we consider all of the impacts, all that impacts our transformation, sometimes really urging us to change, and I hope that we can lean into an assurance that it's possible, that we can change, that we can go on. So let's sing about that. Please stand if you're willing and or able to sing I Know I Can. It's number 1015.
Oh
This reading by Kayla Parker was published in a book of reflections from the Unitarian Universalist Association called Becoming a Spiritual Guide for Navigating Adulthood. It's titled, I Realized I was a woman, or more precisely, at the time, a girl, the day in first grade I noticed boys were looking up my dress when I was on the monkey bars. I started wearing shorts under my dresses, and now I prefer pants. I realized I liked other women when I was 19, and I noticed I was heartbroken when my friend, who burned a hole in my jacket with her clove cigarette the year before, was no longer in school. I started kissing a lot of people. I now have an amazing girlfriend. I realized I was white when I was 22 and noticed the invisible backpack of privilege I carried around. I started reading a lot about race. I'm still reading now, and I am adjusting my actions and interactions accordingly. This, of course, is not an exhausted list of my identities. I could add cisgender and middle class. I could add daughter and lover. When I look at my many identities, I am struck by how old I was when I truly realized the privilege of being white, and how young I was when I understood the oppression of being a woman. Although the discrimination I faced because of my gender hit me in the face pretty early, privilege is a part of my identity and a reality of my culture I could not have figured out on my own. I am grateful to Unitarian Universalism for helping me develop and analyze my identities. This faith has helped me deal with the oppression I face and realize the privilege I have. I am grateful that my religion has fostered and spurred my development and pushed me to develop aspects of myself I could not have done alone. By growing older amid the support of this community, I have realized many aspects of my identity. I am still growing into them. I'd like to think that I'm a more out queer woman last year than I was 5 years ago, a more racially aware white person this year than I was last year, and that I will be a stronger woman tomorrow than I am today. The sad yet relieving truth about all these identities is this: I'm not good at being any one of them, and I probably never will be, yet it is helpful for me to think about these different aspects of myself, so I intentionally develop my different parts and maintain balance. I am still growing into my many identities, and for that, I am grateful. I know I will never perfectly be any one of them. And so I'll keep growing and getting better at being the intersection of all of them.
What shall we become? Why change? It's actually kind of a stupid question. It's a no-brainer. We can't really stop it from happening. We can't stop aging or learning or being influenced. So maybe the real question is how best to change, how to become the people we want to be, how to use the process of change to become the people the world needs. You know, as your interim minister, I've talked with you about change a lot, perhaps ad nauseum. It has been on purpose, though, because this is where you are. You know, beginning when Reverend Suzelle announced her retirement, through the time with Reverend Denise, and now nearing the end of the interim ministry, well, it's like you have been in a cocoon, preparing, and are just about to experience a big transformation. And when we are in the process of transformation, it's like we can see or understand or interact with the world from a different perspective, a perspective that changes us. And with each of those changes comes the possibility of recreating ourselves. But how? As I said earlier, wondering and imagining are good first steps, really dreaming about who we want to be, visioning, intentionally setting a course or a direction, having a mission statement. And also, it can help to understand how change happens. Now, I don't think I've talked with you about this before, but my personal theology of choice is process theology, which is based on the metaphysical philosophy of Alfred North Whitehead, a philosophy which says that reality is made up of material substances that endure through time, reality is not made up of material substances that endure through time, but of serially ordered events which are experiential in nature. In other words, our reality is made up of serial experiences and changes, one after another. Everything is changing and always rearranging itself. Process theology sees all of life as a process, as a journey, so that in every moment we are becoming, changing, transforming. Life unfolds, and who we are unfolds along with it. And in each of these moments of becoming, we can and do make choices from all of the possibilities that are out there available to us. And if we are so aware, if we choose to be so aware, we can pick which of those influences we will take in and how much to bend to them. Now, perhaps because there is so much change around us and within us, and it can seem that our energy is often focused on figuring out who we are, on knowing our true selves. And there's a lot of discernment work in this. You know, choosing which parts of our past to carry forward, which to leave behind, determining what's true for us and what's not. Sometimes we have to untangle ourselves from ways of being that are restricting us, and that can be quite challenging. Now, I'm sure you are just as fascinated as I am with process theology, so let me tell you just a little more. Whitehead called each unit of existence an actual entity. Now, entities are made up of an ongoing process of events, forever changing, always becoming rather than existing. It's a lot more complicated than that simple information, but for today's purposes, let me just say that any person or thing might be called an actual entity. Now, an actual entity, each of us, is sort of like a chain of individual moments. You know, if we're a little circle that's becoming, concressing, Whitehead would say, it's as we become the next thing, the next way that we are, the old moment passes away. So it simultaneously passes away and another moment becomes only to be replaced by the next one so that the one before is gone, et cetera, et cetera. As I said, Whitehead called this concrescence. It's sort of like we're moving along an expanding or growing caterpillar of existence, kind of getting longer and longer with each moment, but we're never one thing. never static, long enough to exist unchanged. We're always in a state of becoming. And in the process of becoming, going from one moment to the next, we're influenced by three things. And the first, perhaps the most powerful, is our past. We're more likely to be what we were in the last moment, or be most like what we were in the previous moment. So what I am right now is greatly determined by what I was a moment ago, and that's not surprising, of course. The second influence is that which surrounds us. So we exist in community. We're constantly interacting with others and with other stuff. So in each moment of becoming, we're influenced not just by what our own past is, but also by all the stuff that's happening around us. And everything around us contributes to what we are to become in the next moment. So that which we take into our being, Whitehead called this positively prehending. What we take into our being, those things those are the things that have some effect on us, and they color what will be in the next moment. Now, so far, maybe I hope this makes some sense to you. We're influenced by our past, but also by all that we come into contact with. Sometimes we're aware of it, sometimes we're not, but to some degree, our level of awareness also affects how intensely or persuasively these things influence our becoming. And of course, along the way, we also influence others. One of the things I love about process thought is the way that it addresses the seventh principle of Unitarian Universalism, the interdependent web of all existence. Because in process thought, just as the actual entities around us are influencing our becoming, we're also influencing their becoming. It's a kind of give and take, touching, receiving, and it resonates with me and so directly emphasizes the incredible importance of paying attention to our interconnected web. It matters what we do. It matters who we come into contact with, and it matters how we interact with all things and ideas and beings, and how much time we pay attention to certain things. Now, the third factor in our becoming, so there was the past, and then there's everything around us. The third factor in our becoming is what Whitehead called the lure of God. Now, Whitehead described God as creativity, or sometimes as beauty or harmony. He believed that we are all given a sort of vision or a longing for this beauty or creativity or harmony, and this vision is the force that lures us forward and shapes who we become. Now, I happen to think that we can kind of create that lure. What is that lure? So we form that lure that pulls us forward to some degree, which is why visioning is so important. And all that, process theology is my religion, or at least it's a way for me to understand and frame my religion. The late Reverend Forrest Church spoke of religion as being a response to the dual realities of being born and having to die. And that it is a person's and that a person's religious beliefs or theology should be helpful in making sense of what comes in between birth and death, which is, of course, that flow of constant change and becoming. So, how does process thought and theology help me with that? Well, for one thing, it gives me hope. It affirms that we are both changing and changeable, and offers assurance that we have some capacity for directing that change. We don't have to stay exactly who we are. I love that line in that last song about our next version is due. Yeah, that was great. We don't have to stay who we are. Our next version is out there and is due. Process thought also reminds me that it matters what I take from my experiences and relationships, and that it matters what I leave with those with whom I come into contact. As our opening song said, the measure of our words and our deeds will be the love we leave behind when we're gone. On our journeys, we stop for a while for rest, time to enjoy each other's company, to enlarge our experiences. I was reminded, or I thought of a photograph that I'd seen once, which I couldn't find it to show it to you. But it's a photo of two men working in a field, pitching hay, that kind of golden summer haze in the photograph. And off to the side next to the haystack is a tractor and a motorcycle. And in my imagination, I thought, oh, the motorcyclist was just passing by and stopped to help. That's what life is, these experiences where we make encounters that just come our way, they come along. Like my time with you, on our journeys, we come from different places and we meet for a time before going our separate ways. And there's so much to be gained by stopping and communing and inter-contributing. Each of us learning, each of us bringing the learning and experience we have, whether here at this congregation or elsewhere. It's something that we can positively prehend into our beings in ways that change us and move us toward our vision. So process theology also calls me to honor all that I've received in relationship, knowing that maybe I have also made a difference in another's becoming. Process theology also requires me to pay attention to how I become. Whitehead believed that the quality of how an entity becomes is a determinant in what that entity becomes. I love these words from Reverend Victoria Safford. What song would come out of your mouth? What prayer? What praises? What referential gesture would you make to greet that world every day that you were in it? To take something in with love and with a creative spirit will have a different outcome on us than to take in that same influence with anger or resentment or fear. Now, for another thing, process thought has helped me to better understand and accept loss, because it's just part of the change process. Loss happens in every moment of becoming, because every new moment of becoming means that the last moment has perished. In order for the new to come into being, the old has to pass away. So since loss is a given in this theology, since it's recognized as an integral part of being and becoming, it can be honored, taken seriously, understood as necessary, even appreciated. Finally, process theology, seeing all life as in the process of becoming, creates meaning in my life by helping me to see that nothing I have ever said or done is entirely wasted, because it all serves the process. Whether it becomes compost or not, we can't help but become, so why not become the beings we would like to be? Every passing moment simply offers another opportunity to open up to all the possibilities, and how we use that opportunity is up to each of us. So I really encourage you to ponder not only your own process of becoming and how you might be more intentional about it, but also this community's process of becoming. How do you do the next few months or days or years? Because how you do them will have an impact on who you become. How you treat one another in stressful process of making decisions, how inclusive you can be in your deliberations, how open to new relationships you can be, how open to possibility you can be. After all, the only measure of your words and your deeds, the only measure of your relevance in this world, will be the love that's felt in the space between and among you. So may we be lured toward ever-increasing beauty and belonging, ever-challenging inclusion and relationships, ever-hopeful action and possibility. Because why change? Why not? Really. May it be so. Amen.
One way that UUCW helps address human needs and advance social justice is through our Split the Plate program. Each month, we give half of all undesignated offerings to a nonprofit organization to help us live our Unitarian Universalist values and serve our community. Our Split the Plate partner for March is Courage MKE, Courage Milwaukee, I guess it would be called. This nonprofit operates Courage House, which is Wisconsin's first licensed group home for displaced LGBTQ+ youth. It's located on Milwaukee's south side. As of late 2023, they're also working on a second location in the C2 apartments, just a few minutes from Courage House. 40% of homeless young adults identify as LGBTQ+, 40%. And many of them age out of foster care system without continued support. At both locations, Courage Milwaukee's unique model will provide the residents with emotional and physical support as they obtain a degree or enter the workplace. Courage Milwaukee's trauma-informed philosophy is built into its program and incorporated into all day-to-day activities. They believe that in order for their residents to heal from trauma, they must have a safe, affirming home first. They are committed to supporting all aspects of their identities, including gender, sexual orientation, and race. To help support Courage Milwaukee, go to UUCW's website Donate tab and select Split the Plate from the menu. Or text or email your donation today using the information found here, or contribute to the basket. Today, I thank you for your generosity to Courage Milwaukee. We will now gratefully receive your offering.
Please join me in the words of dedication found in your order of service and on the screen. To the work of this community, which is to ground ourselves in love and joy and to act for inclusion and justice, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings.
Sorry, I'm tall. I'd like to share a poem with you, one that affirms that what is possible if we sow the seeds of change in our lives. It is called Sprout and was written by Sue Ludwig. I am in search of my life, not the one I was dealt, but the one I want to have. not the one repeatedly stomped into the ground, popping up where I least expect it, but the one where I wake up each day excited to be on a path, blooming with maybe nothing I expected, but everything I wished for. I have been tending to the hard work. I have unearthed and tilled and reseeded the dead areas. I'm beginning to see sprouts, little glowing green life pushing against gravity, weight of earth to find light. They are in search of their life. They know more than I, how to shed the confines of the seed, thank it for its lesson, and grow.
So like the community in the story Matt told earlier, no, it was Dave who told that story earlier. Sorry, I have the wrong words here. I'll just make something up. We're going to sing. They're left over from last week somehow. Anyway, we're going to sing Woyaya, which is number 1020 in the order of service. We sang it recently, but it's such a great story for this message of just moving along, going on to what's coming next. So let's sing 1020. Please rise in body and or spirit.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard and long, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, we are going. Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Please remain standing. Take a look around this room. See all these beautiful beings who form this community that both influences and supports you in your becoming. And say a silent word of thanks, especially this morning for Jeannie and our choir, for Lisa and Nick and our whole staff, our RE volunteers, and all the folks on today's hospitality teams. If you want to chat with others about this morning's service, get your coffee and head up to UL4 to share your afterthoughts with others. And I invite you, if it works for you, to join hands for a benediction. Oh. Blessed is the path on which you travel. Blessed is the body that carries you upon it. Blessed is your heart that has heard the call. Blessed is your mind that discerns the way. Blessed is the gift that you will receive by going. Truly blessed is the gift that you will become on the journey. May you go forth in peace. Blessed be. Ashe. Amen.